gosh, forever, humans have looked at the stars and asked that huge question, are we alone? Is it just us out here? And, well, for decades now, our neighbor Mars has been, prime suspect in that search. Today, we're diving deep into something pretty exciting, a NASA announcement from this September 2025. It's about what might just be some of the strongest hints yet of ancient microbial life over on the red planet. So our mission here is to really pull this apart. We'll look at exactly what they found, why it's causing such a buzz in the science world, and we still don't know because that's crucial. And maybe the biggest question of all, what this could actually mean for how we see life itself. I think you'll find there are some real aha moments coming up. We're basically sifting through clues to potentially one of the universe's biggest secrets. All right, let's zoom in then. NASA pointed to Jezero Crater. What's special about that place, and what exactly did Perseverance find?
Right, Jezero Crater. Scientists have been interested in Jezero for ages, really. Its geology just screams potential past habitability. Perseverance was looking specifically in a spot called the Bright Angel Formation. It's within an old, dry riverbed they call Neretva Valleys. And it was right there, back in July 2024, that the rover drilled this rock sample. The rock itself is nicknamed Chayava Falls. And the specific core sample they pulled out, that's Sapphire Canyon.
The Sapphire Canyon.
Yeah. There. And the key thing is it's mudstone, and it's old, really old, somewhere between 3.2 and 3.8 billion years. That time frame is, well, it's absolutely critical. It's when we think Mars had lakes and rivers, persistent water on its surface, exactly the kind of place you'd start looking for life.
That water connection is everything, isn't it? So, okay, inside that ancient mudstone, what specific clues did Perseverance actually pick up? What are these signals causing all the excitement?
Well, the rover's got some pretty sophisticated instruments, and they detected a few really intriguing things in that Sapphire Canyon sample. Yeah. First off, specific minerals, vivianite and grisite.
Vivianite and grisite.
Exactly. They're iron phosphates and sulfides. And the interesting thing is, here on Earth, you often find these minerals associated with microbial activity. Like, they can form because of microbes, or their formation is influenced by them. But it wasn't just the minerals. The rover's cameras also spotted these visible dark features and sort of ring-shaped structures inside the rock. Scientists are informally calling them speckles.
Speckles.
Yeah, speckles. And they look surprisingly like structures we see on Earth that are made by biological processes. Think tiny fossils or mineral patterns created by microbes. And then, maybe the kicker, they also confirmed the presence of organic carbon compounds mixed in with all this.
Wow, okay. So organic carbon, the building blocks right there with these specific minerals and these speckles. You mentioned vivianite and grisite. What makes those particular minerals such a strong hint, even without the organics?
That's a really good point. It's not just finding any old mineral, you see. Vivianite and grisite, yes, they can form without life, abiotically, but they tend to form in specific conditions, often low oxygen, waterlogged environments where microbes often thrive. So when you find those minerals together with complex organic carbon and these little speckle structures that look biological, all inside sediment laid down by water, well, that whole package suddenly has immense biosignature potential.
Biosignature potential. I like that framing.
Yeah, think of it like this. Finding, say, just a vivianite is maybe like spotting a single footprint. Interesting, but could be anything, right? But finding vivianite with organic molecules and structures that look like tiny fossils, all in an ancient lake bed, that's more like finding the footprint next to, I don't know, a discarded tool and maybe some leftover lunch. The chances of it being just random chemistry start to drop. It's this combination that makes it maybe the most compelling case we've seen so far for ancient life on Mars. But, and this is important, it's definitely not definitive proof. Not yet.
That combination does sound really compelling. But, we've been down this road before with Mars. Exciting finds pop up, but then sometimes abiotic explanations surface or things aren't quite as clear-cut. What makes this set of evidence from Jezero feel different, feel stronger than maybe some of those past discoveries?
You're right to bring that up. Healthy skepticism is exactly what science needs here. And it really boils down to the cumulative weight of the evidence. Like you said, previous finds were often exciting because of maybe one or two strong indicators. But here, it's the whole suite, this specific pairing of vivianite and grisite, the organic carbon found right alongside them, and those little microstructures that really do resemble microbial traces. It's the package deal that's much harder to explain away with just geology or chemistry alone compared to, say, just finding organics or just finding an interesting mineral.
So it's about all the arrows pointing in the same direction, basically.
Exactly. Finding one piece, Yeah, maybe abiotic, but finding this whole collection of clues all together, all consistent with life in that specific environment, it starts to paint a much, much clearer picture, a picture that's harder to ignore. And don't forget the water context. That's absolutely undisputed. This rock is mudstone. It formed at the bottom of a lake, period. So we know there was persistent liquid water right there, right when this rock was forming. And water, well, that's the one thing we think all life, as we know it anyway, absolutely needs.
Right, the universal solvent.
Precisely. And one more thing, preservation. Mudstones, these fine-grained sedimentary rocks, are actually fantastic at preserving delicate things like organic molecules and mineral signatures over billions of years. Crucially, the analysis suggests this particular rock hasn't been, say, baked at extreme temperatures or altered in ways that we know would definitely destroy biosignatures or create fake ones. That boosts the confidence that what we might be seeing are actual ancient remnants.
It really feels like this builds on everything learned before. This isn't happening in a vacuum. It stands on the shoulders of earlier missions, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. There's a clear lineage here. You can look straight back to NASA's Curiosity rover. Remember, Curiosity found those large organic molecules, things like long-chain alkanes in Gale Crater. That was in rock about 3.7 billion years old.
Yeah, I remember that caused quite a stir, too.
It did. And while those molecules weren't proof of life themselves, that discovery was huge for two reasons. First, it proved that the complex organic chemistry needed as a precursor to life was definitely happening on early Mars. And second, it showed that these sorts of molecules could actually survive for billions of years inside Martian rocks.
Ah, so Curiosity showed it was possible for the ingredients and the evidence to stick around.
Exactly. So Perseverance finding organics and these potential biosignatures now isn't completely out of the blue. It's building right on that foundation. Curiosity laid, confirming Mars had potentially habitable environments and that the evidence can be preserved.
Okay, so the evidence looks strong. Stronger than before, perhaps. But, as always in science, especially with a claim this big, we need caution. What's the elephant in the room? What are the big uncertainties, the things that need to be nailed down before anyone shouts life?
You're absolutely right to ask that. Caution is key. The single biggest caveat is simply, it's not yet definitive proof. As suggestive as it all is, scientists are quick to point out that everything they've seen, the minerals, the organics, even those speckle structures could, at least in theory, be produced by non-biological processes, abiotic chemistry.
So weird Martian geology could potentially mimic life.
Potentially, yes. Maybe under conditions specific to early Mars that we don't fully replicate or understand here on Earth, these things might form without life. Ruling that out completely is very difficult, and that leads straight to the next big point. We really need to get these samples back to Earth for analysis in our labs. The instruments on Perseverance are amazing for a rover millions of miles away, truly incredible feats of engineering, but they still have limits.
What can labs on Earth do that the rover can't?
A lot, actually. Things like definitively telling the difference between organic molecules made by life versus those made by, say, geological processes. Or measuring isotopic ratios, tiny variations in the weights of atoms, which can act like a fingerprint for biological activity. Those kinds of super precise analyses are just extremely difficult, if not impossible, to do remotely on Mars right now. We need the power and sophistication of Earth-based laboratories.
So bringing the rocks home is essential for the final verdict.
Absolutely essential. And then there's always the possibility of contamination or alteration over billions of years. Rocks get heated, squeezed, radiated, exposed to different chemicals. All sorts of things happen over geological time. These processes could potentially change or even mimic signs of life. Figuring that out requires really careful modeling, comparing with rocks on Earth and trying to unpick billions of years of history. It's complex work, and scientists are digging into ruling out those possibilities, but it's a real challenge.
That makes total sense. You can almost picture the scientists practically vibrating with the need to get those samples under their microscopes here. But there's a pretty big hurdle to actually getting them back, isn't there?
There is, unfortunately. It's a major one, the Mars Sample Return Mission. It's this incredibly ambitious plan to bring Perseverance's collected samples back to Earth. But it's facing, well, significant hurdles, budget issues, complex technical challenges, and scheduling delays.
Delays? How long are we talking?
Right now, the projections for actually getting those samples back to Earth labs are stretching into the 2040s.
The 2040s? Wow.
Yeah. And those delays, they really impact how quickly scientists can do that crucial lab work to test this biosignature hypothesis rigorously. It means we're in for a long wait for what might be the definitive answers. Patience is definitely required.
Okay, so let's imagine that way is over. Let's say fast forward to the 2040s, the samples are back, the tests are done, and confirmation. These are biosignatures. What then? What does that confirmation mean for us, for science, for how you see our place in the cosmos?
Oh, if it's confirmed. The implications are, well, they're profound. Just staggering, really. First and foremost, it would be incredibly strong evidence that life isn't unique to Earth. It arose independently at least once more, right next door on Mars. That fundamentally changes our perspective on the universe.
It doubles our data points for life existing from 1 to 2.
Exactly, which is a monumental leap. It suggests life might not be some unbelievable fluke, but maybe something that happens when the conditions are right. It would revolutionize astrobiology and the search for life everywhere else. It would also give us this incredibly detailed window into early Mars. We could potentially figure out how long water really persisted, what the climate was actually like back then, what kind of energy sources Martian microbes might have used. It helps us piece together not just Mars's past, but how habitable planets evolve in general.
And what about understanding life itself, its origins?
Huge implications there, too. Seeing how life might have started and survived on Mars could give us vital clues about how life emerges on any planet. What factors are absolutely necessary? How common might that process be across the galaxy? It could totally reshape our theories about the origin of life. And practically speaking, you can bet it would light a fire under future Mars exploration. More advanced sample return missions, definitely missions to drill deeper beneath the surface where evidence or maybe even current life might be better preserved. And it would certainly add momentum to the idea of sending humans to Mars. Imagine astronauts investigating these sites directly.
It's genuinely mind-bending to think about. So bringing it back to today, September 2025, with this announcement fresh. If you had to summarize where the scientific community stands right now, what's the general feeling?
I'd say the consensus is one of cautious optimism. Excitement, yes, but very cautious. The findings are described as highly suggestive, maybe the most compelling evidence yet, but almost everyone agrees it's not definitive proof at this stage.
So more work needed.
Absolutely. There's a strong emphasis on needing multiple independent lines of evidence. The minerals, the organics, the structures, crucial isotopic data from sample return, all pointing unambiguously to life. The current data is still open to other interpretations, even if they seem less likely now. It needs rigorous peer review, further analysis by the rover, and ultimately that crucial analysis back here on Earth. The scientific process is working, but it takes time.
Indeed it does. So we've walked through these potentially astounding discoveries in Jezero Crater, really explored why they matter so much, but also acknowledged the big scientific hurdles still ahead. And we've peered into a future where maybe, just maybe, we find out we weren't the first life in our solar system. It's quite a journey.
It really is. And as you think about all this, consider the sheer patience and ingenuity involved hunting for faint chemical whispers left billions of years ago, millions of miles away. If these hints from Mars do turn out to be real echoes of ancient life, what does that tell you about life's tenacity, its ability to find a way, and the countless other places in the cosmos where similar whispers might just be waiting? It really makes you wonder, what other secrets is Mars holding on to, maybe buried even deeper, just waiting for us to keep listening?